Hi everyone, good morning. Just going to get myself sat down and join you. I was just getting the video done. Let's hope I don't knock it. Hang on a second. Hope everybody's well. It is Friday the 27th of March. I'm just going to go into group and see if it's started on there yet. And we'll say hello to everybody once it gets going. I'll just leave it there to do. And today oh sorry, I've just knocked my camera thing there. I'm a little bit too close to it today. I don't know what I've done with it. Anyway, I'll try my best because I might have to adjust my camera. 2 seconds everybody. I can't function with it so close to me. 2 minutes. How is everybody doing? Let's try that. Just push it a little bit up that way. I can still see that sort of area. It says I've got a slow connection today, so that's not a problem. That's better. I just feel as if I'm going to hit my head on the screen that I've got above my head. Just checking if it's in group yet. I can't see me gone live. There we go. I am. Lovely. Here we go. There's Jackie. Hi Jackie. Turn my volume down, sorry, on my phone. There we go. So hopefully we're all right then. You can see everything. So I'm going to start off this morning with some Katie Sue, just to get us started before we go into the next, like the main project for the day. Hope everybody's well. Please say hello. Hi Sarah, nice to see you. But we'll do a little bit of Katie Sue while we're sitting, waiting. So you get these are the teacups, and you get a sheet like that, which you just pop everything out of. So I'll just pop that back there. I seem to be missing one of the pop outs, so I'm going to make a one for the other card. Let me just get that. Draw around it on there. Diddly-dee. I'll just use that to cut it there, because I can't see with the second card that I haven't got the insert that I need. Hi Sarah. Oh, I've said hello to Sarah, and hi Jackie. So we've just got a little group this morning. That's fine. I know people are working. So I'll show you what I've done to start with. Put this over to the side. I'm going to use these stickers as well. And right, with the Katie Sue teacups, as you see, you get a pop-out teacup. Yeah, this is actually the back, and then we're going to score down and fold on all the lines with your bone folder. Hi, Julie. Oh, that's very strange. Yes, Katie Sue's are nice and easy to do. So, and they actually come out, you know, really effective little projects, and it saves you all the thinking. So that's going to be the little teacup when we've folded it all down. The next part that you get, I'm going to open it out so the white side's facing. The next bit that you get in your cutout is this little, not a full circle, but slightly a bit of a circle. We're going to just pop that onto here, and that's going to be part of our stopper. So I'm going to raise it up on to foam pads, because that's going to help it. It's like a little easel card teacup, and in the olden days we would have had to cut these sort of shapes out ourselves if we had these fantastic ideas, but nowadays we've got them all ready to go. And we'll just do a little bit of this while we're sitting. I have got a bit of a messy project to do for you today. I've got a couple of options. One's very messy and the other one is slightly less messy. So we'll just see how it goes. And if it all goes wrong, I've got another one as well. So I'm going to just pop this on here. I'm just going to lift it up so I can see, because I'm coming at a funny angle. And oh, we've forgotten to do one thing, guys. Hang on. We're going to put this in first. So you get a little circle which goes in the middle to make it look pretty. I nearly forgot. Silly. So it's Friday morning today, 27th of March, and what's everybody got planned for their day and their weekend? So I am going to be doing the live, and then I have to get my daughter's bedroom ready because she's coming up to visit. So this is the eldest one coming, called Isla, and she's coming up to spend the weekend with us, and then she's going to stay and look after our dog Albie because I'm away next week for a few days with my son and his girlfriend, and we're going down to London. So just pop that on there. See how easy it is to do. So I'm going to be just getting ready really this weekend, spending some time with Isla, doing a few bits and pieces. So I might go out for a little cake and a cup of tea or something nice like that. I'm just going to line this up on here. Onto there. It doesn't go all the way up, but then you can see that that will actually help you be a stopper on there for your easel card shape. Yeah, lovely. And then the next part is popping some flowers in to the teacup. So they give you a little rectangle in this, and the idea is that it pops inside here and it'll go in there, stick on, and you'll put your flowers onto here. Now this has got quite a nice little pattern on it, so it seems a shame to be sticking it in the, but we'll show you in the next one how you can use a different way. So it says to get it where you think you want it. I'm just going to pop that there. Then we're going to go to the little pop outs. So you get a big A4 sheet and you get enough pop outs for each card, and we're going to be hoping that we can get something like that effect. Hi Margaret, thank you for joining us. Good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's well. We're just doing a little starter with a Katie Sue at the moment, so I'm going to stick those on the top of there and that should be fine. Might actually, do I want to put it on I think you just can stick it down flat, but if I just pop it on a little bit of a foam pad, then it'll hopefully sit over the front of the teacup a bit better. So we'll pop the foam pads onto this piece. And I'm just getting this first one set up and see what we do. I've got the second one as well. So pop that on there, pop that on there. Hopefully you can see, and we'll pop this over here like that. Right, smashing. So let's pop that inside the little split. You can see that little slit there in the top of the teacup, and then because I've put it on a foam pad, it'll just sit over that nicely like that. And then what it tells you to do in the instructions is then to glue this down. So we can, this is just the straightforward way. So if you go on to Katie Sue and have a look at some of the videos, they've got a YouTube channel with some videos on, and you can see what some of the design team have done, and they've come up with different ideas of using this, where this is the straightforward way that we're going to do first, but then they'll also put a bit more of a twist on it and they'll stick it onto different cards. One of the ladies had it sort of as an easel where she cut out the front part, she cut out that part. Yeah, it looks really good. So go and have a little look there to get some more ideas of how you can do it just a little bit different. Now I'm going to pop these out of here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to move these out the way. We're going to have a little look at some of this later. So I'll pop them to the side. And I am going to use my trusty black mat. Got the new tool from Studio Light that Dawn's got, and it's got a really nice big handle, so it's really good for any dexterity problems, and that sort of tool size is fairly, you know, a good general size to go. I'm coming from the back, so if I get a little bit of a curve, that'll look quite nice on the teacup, so we can pop that one on. There we go. And I've got to say, yeah, Sarah Keane is coming on at 4 o'clock today. I think she's they've put an event on for her, so if you can pop back on at 4, that'll be great. I think Lorraine's away for a couple of weeks. I'm away for a bit next week, so I think my live next week, I was thinking I could probably get away with one on the Saturday, although it may be something very simple and easy and not too exciting because I'll have just got back from my trip away to London. But hopefully on the Friday I'll have some prep time. I'm just going to pop this on top, and again I can't really see because I'm not at the right angle. Just pop your foam pads on and pop it over there. Lovely. So I'll probably go Saturday night next weekend if that's any good for everybody. And now it's just up to you as to how much layering you want to do or not with the flowers that you've got. So we'll maybe just pop a couple more on. There we go. Pops out nicely with my little tool. Gives them a little bit of shape while I'm going. And it's got like a grip material on that, so it's really nice to hold. There we go. And that's it. And hopefully, if you can't watch now, you'll be able to watch on catch up. So I'll say hello to anybody watching on catch up. Thank you for joining us. But I'm quite happy to sit here and just craft around, even if I'm by myself, because it is my little happy place. And I just love to sit and craft. I had not really sure what I was going to do this week, so I've ended up doing a bit of a messy thing, and hopefully getting some. You can please message me with any of your ideas about what you'd actually like to see as well, and then I can hopefully help. So I'm just going to pop that on again on top of that one, and that's it really. Now we can maybe make a little bit more of a sentiment and a topper, so you can see where they've come from and just line them up. I think that's probably enough. There we go. And anybody who's watching but not commenting, thank you for joining us. Where's this one go? Oh, it does not go there. Perhaps that went under there. Oh, it goes in there. It goes in the middle. This is just me doing it by... there we go. I feel like I need another one on there. That's that one. Got it. Got it? I have got it. I need to sort my desk out because I feel as if I'm crafting in a very tiny space. But I was watching Dawn's live last night and finishing my project off, and I didn't really then spend any time getting my desk area organised after the crafting I did. There we go. So that's the flowers done. Very simple, straightforward, lovely. And then we can decide what to do with our sentiment and our teaspoon. We have a teaspoon. Oh, just knocking all my flowers on the floor. Dear, dear. I've lost the sentiment while I've been doing this, so that's probably on the floor as well. Let's just go for the teaspoon then, because my sentiment's disappeared. So you can pop a little sentiment on or not. And the other option is for us to pop a little teaspoon across, and then that will also act as a little bit of a stopper. It doesn't want to sit down at the minute, and that's probably the need for better folding. Get that bone fold right over. That's better. There we go. So we can pop that on there and it sits nicely. I'm going to give this spoon a little bit of a tweak with my thing. Just go that way a little bit, and then go on this side where that would be a little bit of a roundy bit there, so it's got a little bit of shape. My spoons are not really sort of totally flat, are they? So let's get that one on, and that can also be part of my little stopper. You can pop it through the handle. Seen that done a little bit, so that might be quite nice for a change. Let's do that. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on the back of the spoon. pop it through the handle and onto the card where I want it. Dawn's nice glue. There we go. And then I want a little bit on that bit behind to secure it onto there. Don't think you need very much with Dawn's glue because it's so good. There we go. That's it. So there you have it. Now I would have put my little sentiment on, but it's disappeared. So tip it up so you can see it on the screen. And that's the very straightforward, simple Katie Sue card. And then I thought you could probably open it up if you wanted and put one of your sticky on your sentiments there. So let's quickly pop you there because I can leave you just for to look at for the time being. Let's quickly have a look at the other one. Now this is the one where I have misplaced, or it didn't come, the cutout here. So I'm going to make one for us this morning. Let's just chop one out. Just use the... Oh, guys, what have I done? I've put my bit of white paper right in front of it. It looks as if there's nobody there. Sorry, everybody. Honestly, what am I like? And then we're going to use this little bit of card to stick a sentiment on from some of these lovely Katie Sue sticky on-y sentiments. I've got the year and the year one. Now what they tell you to do here to make it easier, first of all, take off the edge like that. Okay, I'm actually just going to take off the edge where I need it at the minute, but you can take the whole edge off, and then that makes it easier for you to get your sentiments out. I think we've all seen these, but I thought they were quite a good one, especially for me. I'm a terror for not always having sentiments ready, and these have got some nice sort of verses in, so they're nice for you to use for special cards. Now I'm actually going to just cut this out because I have got my little card here and I want to pop it onto there. So I'm going to do a little bit more trimming and hopefully we can get it off still. You don't need to do this, but it's just because I'm putting it in such a small area. You can just stick it down. There we go. And then we'll get it off the paper. Smashing. It peels away really nice and easy. And I'm going to stick it down the bottom and turn it around away from myself because I don't want to make a mess. Put it down there. That's it. And just pop it on, and then you can just give it a burnish again with your burnishing tool. I'm not as organised today, and I feel as if I'm just a bit upside down with everything, but we'll be fine. Give it a little bit of a burnish around the sides, and then that'll go with my mucky hands. I think it's easier with my fingers. There. So we've got that on the little piece of card, and then we're going to stick on, that's where I'm going to then stick the flowers to the top. So this one's going to be a one that lifts in and out. So we're going to need to move that leaf because it's quite a big bunch and it does not want to be there. So just have a little tweak and a little fiddle. There we go. So that will fit on there nicely now. All right. Anybody else joined us since I wasn't looking? Louise, hello. Nice to see you. Karen, thank you for joining us. We're just doing a little bit of a Katie Sue at the minute. We've just made one card and I'm just showing you using the sentiment pack from Katie Sue. I've got the one that's all around the whole year. So come Christmas, I'll be away with it. So I'll have my Christmas ones and I've got anything I really need. So I'm just sticking this onto here, ready. I put my sentiment on there. This is not the actual card you get. So the one you would get would be nice blues, but I've misplaced that. So I've just made another one. And then we can pop out our lovely Katie Sue pieces. and then we're going to be getting on with, I think, today's project. We'll just do as much as we can, and hopefully everybody will watch and catch up and have a go. We'll just get these bits out, try not to lose any more pieces. There we go. So you can see they're just easy to pop out, and these are really good for quick and easy makes any day of the week. There we go. So again, we're going to do our scoring nicely and use the bone folder. Oh, I've just got some rain coming down, so it might be a bit noisy. I'm in the conservatory, so it does get a little bit noisy. Hopefully you'll still be able to hear me over the top of that rain. Lift that little bit out. There we go. And again on this one we've got our little pretty circle plate. Stick it on. I'll do this really quickly because I've just done one already. Pop that in there. Lovely. And pop this one on. One. Just going to put 3 on because we're doing it fast. 2 and 3. And then that will be a stopper. You can use your sentiments as stoppers as well, and you can use your spoons as stoppers. You could put some more flowers in. We're just going to pop this on top of the little plate. There we go. Doesn't go all the way around, and then that pops over and sits there as a little stopper. And then this one, instead of having it glued down like the first one, you could have this one just free floating. So you could then, they can pull it out and see their little message on there. So that's just another way of doing it. You don't need to stick it all down. So I won't finish that one until later because we've just made one, and then we can get on with the next project. So there you go, Katie Sue teacups. Have a little play, have a little look on Katie Sue's website and see how you can actually stick them onto cards. So you might be maybe just want to stick it down, you know, cut bits out, and you could stick that portion on completely onto a card and that would be fine. Then you could use the other elements to sort of be decorative on it. There's some really fancy easel fold ones as well if you have a look. I was watching the video last night for Katie Sue, and she did, the design team had put some really nice sort of fancy things on. We could also pop another little one there if we wanted it to be a bit higher up. There we go. Right, so that's our little Katie Sue starter. Get some nice little sentiments that you can pop in as well, and then that can be another stopper there. Okay, there we go. So that's that little project I thought I'd share with you. Dawn can get hold of the Katie Sue things, so I think that's quite a pretty little set actually. And we get our little teaspoon. We can pop the teaspoon on there, and that's lovely, isn't it? So take a look, give Dawn, just say Katie Sue teacup please. I'm sure that will be sufficient for her to know what you mean, and she'll get you the packs. You can get add-on packs of the flowers, so you can do even more layering if you want to. So you can get just the sheets of the flowers separately, but the pack that you get with the teacups, you get enough to make, I think it's about 8 teacups and enough flowers to layer up sufficiently there for that. Okay, so that's the first little collection that we're looking at today. So I'm going to put that all back in my little box so I don't lose them. I'm going to put them there and we can get them out at the end. There we are. That's probably the, no, that's the blue one. So you get some nice colourways. There's a reddish one, I do believe, that's a bit like a sort of Chinese style tea set. So that's quite a good one. Right, now we're going to get messy. Roll my sleeves up. And this is a little project that is actually courtesy of a craft along workshop that I went on with Leonie Pujol, and she made showed us how to make toppers. So this is what I made in the craft along workshop that I did with her, and we made a topper to put in on a little book. So using our 3D elements to give that lovely effect. So I thought we'd have a little go at this today. A little bit messy. Might show you another way to do it a little bit less messy. And I made the little plaque, and then I thought, oh, what am I going to do with this? And I realised it would fit so nicely onto one of my little boxes. So you can see I've then, these are the boxes. I think Dawn's got a couple of these sets left. You get 3 different sizes. This is the smallest one. And you can decorate them however you wish. So this one, all I've done is painted it with some of Dawn's pearlescent paint. Now, I know she's got some nice pearlescent paints on offer at the minute on a ridiculously cheap price. And I've used pearlescent paints today, so it might be worth you having a look and seeing, asking Dawn if you can see. I think they were £2.99, so that was really good. And I've used some of the lace from Dawn as well to go around the edges, and then I've stuck my little project on top. So I'm going to show you how to do this. The other thing you can do with them, so you can put them onto boxes, you can put them onto little sort of mini books that you make out of paper. So this is a little masquerade one, which I haven't really finished the inside. I've got loads of little tags I should make on that, and that's just covered with rice paper, and then the little topper and a bit of a ribbon, so that you could use that. And I've also got this. This might be a little project. It's a bit sort of sun damaged. The paper's gone a bit pale. This is quite a nice little project to do, which we could do one day. This is just like a little book I've made for myself to mess about in. So very simple. This idea from for using elastic to put your pages in, I got from Jill Humphrey. So I decorated I made my little book, you can see, decorated that, and then I've just got all my little leftover bits of pages, you know, bits of junk really, and background pages, and I've interspersed, there's a bit of a background mess, interspersed it with some watercolour card and some coloured card, just all little offcuts. Now that might look like nothing, but I can fiddle around with that later and make it into something. Here I was just doing some doodling and playing with some blending pencils, sticking some washi tapes down to see what they looked like. That's a bit of a clean-up page which I can decorate. So it's kind of like a little place you could do. I've done swatches of colouring again there, put some vellum in. So really it's quite a nice little way to use up some of your background bits and have a little journal ready for you to play with. It's a bit back to front actually. I think it all came out and I put it back in a bit wonky. So I haven't done a great deal in there. That was a bit of stamping and colouring. That was just a bit of layering up. That's a bit of stamping and messing on. So if you get a new stamp, you just can stamp it in and then have a play and see what it looks like. And it's really, this is supposed to be just a book for where I'm not thinking about anything, and I just shove things in and see what comes out. I just did some splodges of paint on there. So that's a little thing we can make just using some mount board or cardboard, and you can cover that up. All the pages are held in with elastic, and then I've just got an elastic band around it. So they thought that actually the little toppers could quite nicely decorate the front of a book in whatever colour you wanted. You could then have a nicely decorated front page. So if you're interested in doing this in the future, let me know and I'll have a go with that for you. Let's show you what you need today. So I have made this one ready, so you could actually see a finished one, because I'm not sure that we'll get everything finished today. So I've grabbed some rice papers. This is my messy mat because I'm going to get really messy. I have got lots of little bits of off-cut rice papers that I could use, bits that have come from bits. I've got some chippies, loads of little chippies. So these are the things we get from Dawn in our little super duper lives. There we go. I've got a die cut. You could use a die cut shape. That's a foam shape, and some lace from Dawn. So you might have seen my picture that I did this last week where I'd put these chunks of lace onto a canvas and then painted over them. So I was wanting to sort of see if I could incorporate the lace into this as well. So I've got some lace, and that's the one I've done in the past as well, and that's just with paint rather than the really messy way that we're going to do it now. So we can do that one as well. So let me just get out what I need for the first bit. It'll be a bit of a faff and a bit of a mess, but we shall. Right, so this one is kind of halfway done, so we're going to finish that one off with the rice papers, and this is what I'm going to show you how to make the first layer. Right, I'll take all these off. So what I've done here is I've selected a few bits of chippies and board, grey board, that I want to use. That was a nice frame shape. That's a little bit of a die cut. This came off a hanging thing that I had that broke, so I thought, oh, I could use that. And then this is mount board. So you could do it onto a tag, but I think if I'm going to be putting this onto something, I just want something like mount board. You could also try a bit of cardboard. If you get a really good piece of cardboard, I've got some there. You know, if you get a decent bit of cardboard, you just put some gesso on it and get it ready, and you could do it onto there, and that's very lightweight then. So I had some of that ready to do as well. But I've chosen the white mount board for today, so that it'll show the rice papers nicely, because I'm going to put rice papers on. The first thing I've done is just cut the mount board to the size I want. Then I've cut another little section that I want to put in the middle, and I've done 2 of them and stuck them together so that I can get a little bit more height. So we're just going to stick this all together, and then you can see Dawn's glue works very well, and it sticks so good, so I didn't need to sort of drag out any other glues that I had. I can't see whether I'm in the right place there because I'm at a funny angle, but we'll just go for it. That'll do. And that just gives a bit more interest having it a little bit up. There we go. I'm going to pop this in as well. Let's tuck that under there, and that'll give us a nice effect in that corner, I think. Lovely. So now I'm going to stick that down as well. There we go. I really should have got the glue on that before I stuck it underneath. I do like to make things hard for myself, don't I? So this is just some gluing and sticking. We're not messy yet. There we go. And get these little bits on. The glue will all merge in. That'll be fine. We don't need to worry too much about any bits that stick out. Oh, hi Vivian. Nice for you to join us. I don't know if I said hello to you yet. Next one, I thought we'd stick a little flower at the top of there. That'd be nice. I'm just, anything you like, really. This is just anything goes. Any little bits that you have left over that you think, oh, that'll look quite nice. I'm going to stick this one onto here. I think we could go for a little bit of a shape around there. That one would be nice because it's got a bit of a shape to it already. And I can always just chop things off. And these are just those nice cheap chippies that we get from Dawn in the sales that she does for us. So I'm not sure she's got any left at the minute, but she normally has something. And you're just going to stick things on where you would like them to be. I'm going to stick that one there. I think we'll do that. Stick this on. That's it. Plenty of glue on here. And you just make up your own composition as you would like it to look. I am sticking everything on because I'm going to do things with it, so I need it to be sat here doing its job, and it should glue in and go nicely. We'll just pop that one down there as well. On that side I can chop off any bits I need, and maybe we'll pop that one over the top of it there. That'd be nice. So this is probably different to the way I had it last night when I was doing my planning. Just stick that one on there in that flower. Lovely. Might be nice to put that one on there as well. So I'm going to chop into this one a little bit. Like that. I'm going to pop that one there. But I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it up a little bit. And now I'm going to make it do, I think. And we can come back to, just put all the glue on. And that's going to work, just to put the one there, a bit up a height. That's it. And then this one, I'm not going to stick it on yet. I think I might stick that on afterwards at the end. But there you go. So you can use anything you want to decorate your board. So we'll put that one to the side for the minute. And that's as easy as that bit gets. Nothing complicated. Then I'm going to bring back in this one. I've already stuck it down ready. And on this one you can see I've popped some of Dawn's lace inside. There. In the frame. I've done the little bit sticking up at the front like a little frame. I've put a chippy frame on top with the lace behind, and then I've added some more chippy elements around on the board. So this will be nice for a journal cover, I think. That's what I'm thinking this one's going to be. So we'll make a journal and pop that on. So hopefully that's good. Now the next bit we are going to get very messy. So let me get myself ready. And you have to trust the process of this as well. So we're now going to use some bits of rice paper. And I've got quite a few little bits that I've just had sat around. So might as well use those bits up. I've got a lovely, I know it seems a shame to tear up things, but I think I've got another one of these. So I am going to just go for it. And I think I'm just going to do, let's have a go at, let's just go get a bit of this. I'm just going to tear it. If you want to make it easier to tear, if you just get your water brush and give yourself a little line, because I don't really want any straight lines on this so that it all blends in better. Get it wet with your little brush, and then it'll tear along your wet line a lot easier, like that. Okay, so I want to have just bits of rice paper, and we're just going to be sticking them on. I might go for that one on the top, but it looks a bit too big, so I'm going to cut a bit more off. I'm going to go back over with more rice paper to fill in the gaps. Oh, the chippy set, I've not got that set. I think I've just used a lot of different chippy bits that I had in my stash that all came from Dawn. Oh, a little bit of wet again on here. There we go. Just use your brush and then it tears easy. Nice, that torn edge will mean that it'll mingle in a bit better, so we can stick that one on there. So go for that. Right, this is where we're going to get messy. So I've got some glue, and I'm going to use my rice paper glue. And I think I'm going to use one of my little daubers from Dawn. She's got those little spongy things. We'll have a go with that. And probably have forgotten to bring my wipes over, so I may have to jump up at some point and get them. So I'm going to get some of my glue. I don't know what brand Dawn has, but she'll probably be able to get rice glue or something. You could use your, you know, that mixed media sort of glue as well. And I'm just going to dibble some glue over my surface ready. Try and do this. If you want to wear a pair of gloves, you can. So I'm putting some of the glue onto the surface to start with. Then I'm going to put some glue onto the back of my rice paper as well, so it all sticks down. This is the bit where I get messy because I'm now going to have glue all over my hands, but I don't mind. And then we're going to stick a bit on there. This is also the bit that gets a little bit tricky. You've got to get really messy with this process. Here we go. I'm going to get my fingers in and I'm going to just try to get that sort of stuck in onto there. I'm going to go over the back, so I want to try and get the texture underneath, so I'm just rubbing a little bit over with my fingers because I find that's the best way to get it. And you have to really trust this process, because I was doing it last night thinking, blooming heck, I can't see those textures, you know, it's not working, I'm not happy. Look, I've put all that lace in there and I can't see anything. Oh no, what am I going to do? But actually it worked, and you can see once it all dried and I did a little bit on the top, I have got that texture back. So it looks as if there's nothing there at the minute. You'd be thinking, what is she doing? That's not working, Angela. That does not look good. But you've got to just trust the process. So I'm not sure that we'll get this all dry today, because they're all rough edges. They will mingle into each other, so I can layer up. So maybe get a little bit of something different on there. We could go for a bit of green. Got a nice bit of green here as well. Any questions? Does anybody like to do messy things, or is this just going to be way off the mark for you? Or you're not going to enjoy it? Get some gloves if you're not sure. I'm just going to pop some of that over there because it's a nice white background underneath. You could gesso over it. That was the other thing I was going to say. Normally what I would do before I did this is pop a bit of gesso over and it just prepares the surface. But I have actually just decided to, because we haven't got loads of time, we're just going for it. That's nice, I like that. So I'm going to get a bit more greens. So this is from a Samperia Foresty one, which I thought was lovely. So I'm just going to do some tearing again and get some bits off. And I can finish this off for you later on, because it might take us a little while. Stick my glue down there again. Doesn't matter about the glue. I'm using my little messy mat so that I can wrap it all up hopefully later. And we can go for a bit of green down the side. I think that'd be nice. And then just try to get it into the nooks and crannies like that. There we go. A little bit more over here. I'm not going to worry about this being a bit straight here, because I'm going to go over the edge with this one. And you can use any of the rice papers that you've got to do this. So let's just stick a bit more down, and you're just layering up with anything that you've got. And once you've layered it up, I'll give it a little smoosh about, because I know there's a little heart there. I know there's a little flower there, so I'm going to give that a little go. Another little heart there, another little flower down there. I'm going to go over again that side where the frame is, just to give it a bit of definition on there. Anywhere there's gaps, we'll stick in more. And this is the messiest bit. Sorry, have to sleep. Chest really bad this morning. Catch up later. Oh, sorry, Karen. Yeah, please do catch up later. I hope you feel better soon. We're just doing a lot of messing on. I'm going to do maybe half of it. I can always finish it off later. We might get some of this dry in time. If I just do a little bit now. I'll just try to get that into the little nooks and crannies if you can. Stick a bit there. Lovely. And it's just about, you know, oh, don't forget your glue. It's just about sticking. So if I quickly get some on all these corners, we can leave it to dry a little bit and then finish it off if I get a chance. There we go. And I don't think you can see anything under here. Be thinking, my goodness, I can't see any of that lace. So I'm hoping that when it dries, it is going to come out like it did on my other ones. I'm just going to give them a little bit of a brush again with my fingers, but I'm going to have faith. And if it doesn't come out right, ooh, let's have a bit of that on there. A bit of a weird little more bits that you've got left over. That might look a bit strange, but we'll just stick with it. Why not? A part of one of them there, and then I just want a few little holes filled. There's a hole. Lovely. And we'll pop another little bit over there because I can see a little gap on the top, but really it doesn't matter because you can paint over it later as well if you want to paint any little corners where you haven't caught the rice paper there. So that should be all done. Lovely. I think I've got it all covered. Right, just go again on this bit. I've got another leaf down in this corner, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of a go under there. I think I didn't put much glue on that corner, but I'm going to poke it through that way. I've got another flower down there, another flower down there, and another heart. So I'm just giving it a little go over the areas where I know I've got my chippies. These little bits that you've got left, you can either just fold them over, or afterwards you can just file them off once it's all dry. So you can just fold them into the back. At some point this is probably going to be just going onto a journal piece, a journal topper. So we can go through and just do that with all the little bits. Right, that's it. So there you go. That does not look like much, but trust the process. We're going to leave that over the way to dry for a little bit. I normally would go and put that straight into my kitchen water to clean it off, but I have got enough of them if that gets a bit solid with the glue. Put the rice paper glue to the side. There we go. And get myself untangled. So that is the first part of the process of making your little topper lid. I'm going to take that over there. Hope I don't drop anything. Now, I didn't remember my wipes. I'm just going to use my little raggy bit. I'm just going to wet my hands. Sorry, guys. That's the alternative to your wipes. Just use your little cloth and your water brush. Right, any questions about that bit? It's fine, Sarah. People can watch on catch up. You know, people are doing different things, and they, you know, I don't mind. I'll just carry on doing it because I know sometimes people watch on catch up, and it might not be your thing, but maybe other people's things. So this one, I think we'll have a go with this in a different way, just to show you that it doesn't have to be quite as messy. We'll get our pearly paints out again. I'm going to chop that little bit off because I don't really need that bit over the edge. I probably could do that one as well, but I'm going to leave it. There we go. And then I'm going to get some pearly paints from Dawn's Pearly Paints. Let's go for some dark green. I'll just bring them all out because I'm not sure what I'm going to end up doing. I've got some nice light ones. Now Dawn's got some pearl paints, as I said, on at the minute. There we go. I'm going to get a paintbrush, trusty paintbrush. Lovely. And we're going to make some more mess with the paintbrush. We're just going to paint this one and see what it's like. So again, I probably would have given it a bit of gesso. So I'll tell you what I'll do. There's my, I've got a really big gesso in it. It's a blooming nuisance because it leaks everywhere. I don't like it. I want a little pot. I'm going to put a little bit of gesso on there to do some mixing. I'm going to chuck my glue on directly on my glass mat because I will clean it up. I'm going to go for some green. I'm going to mix the gesso in just to bring that down a little bit of the colour, and then we're just going to paint. So let's go over the top with some acrylic-y pearlescent paint. So if you don't want to do the messiness of your rice papers, this is a bit easier. Again, you probably should have your little mat down on the table. I am just going for it today. Let's go in. I'm going to start off with a green base, I think. I do like green. And I'm just going to go with all of the green. Mix it round. And we're just going to try and get in all the little nooks and crannies. Like that. There you go. We're just doing a little bit of something different today, I thought that we would. So, but please pop your requests in. If there's any of the collections that you've lately been buying or you've ordered, I've got lots of Stamperia and Ciao Bella junk journals, so I'm quite happy to get one of those out and have a go with that with you. Let's go with some of this paler green, just to, honestly, you don't need to do it straight on your glass mat like I am. This is just me going crazy, really. It'd probably be easier for you to get a little palette out, but I am rushing a bit to get this. I'm hoping that we can then do some extra colours on once this has dried a little bit. But you can see it just covers up nicely. Let's just get the nooks and crannies in there with my brush. There's a bit down under there. Kind of pounce into that corner. Pounce under there a little bit. There. And that's that covered over a lot easier and quicker than if you were to do the rice paper. Now, I want to put that just here to dry a minute. I've left my finger mark on it. Let me see what I've got nearby. Got a bit of this paper. Just wet that. I'm just going to pick some up onto my paper so it's not all completely wasted. And that will make a nice background later. Ooh, it's nice and green. Look at that. That's a nice background. Let's leave that to get dry. Grab another one. What else have I got? It's just one of my picky uppy ones from the other week. So even with your acrylics and your pearlescent paint, anything painty, doesn't have to be the inks and the watercolours, just have a go at picking them up from your mat, and that helps you with your cleaning up if you're doing it directly on. And that might not look very much, but later on when it's used as a background, it will be fabulous. So my only thing is that brush should go straight into water. So let me just mop this off now with my cloth. And actually this is a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. The only thing is we've got to get it to dry. There we go. So that's a bit cleaner. I'm going to do my brush on my rag as well because I don't want it to set in. So normally I would be popping up to the sink, cleaning it all off, but I'm just going to give it a little bit of a go so it'll be easier to clean when I go to the sink with my... Whoa, I'm getting water everywhere. Forget that one just keeps spraying when you get it on a certain way. That's it. Got rid of that. Though that brush is okay. Pop you back in there. Right, lovely. So what have we got? Let's go back to this one. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a dry. Let's see if we can see anything developing. Just turn that off. So Dawn's also got the heat guns on at the minute, remember, quite a good price. I'm going to try and leave it to dry, and again that little bit of lace, I can't see it, but I'm going to try and trust it and see if it does develop with the time, and if it doesn't we'll put something else on top. Go back to this one, give it a little blast. Lovely. And I think we could probably then just go in with a bit of paler colour to just make it look a bit nicer while we're waiting for it to finish doing its job. I'm going to give this a little blast with water as well. Just get, sorry, I'm knocking my my screen. Just going to use this little one because I know it's going to just do a little bit of water for me. And I'm making it more of a wash with a bit of water and that pearl paint. And then I'm going to go again and just brush over with this very pale. And you can see the shapes just starting to come out there. And this is the same thing you do over the top of your rice paper. You get a little bit of the paint washed down with a bit of water so it's a bit thinner, so it's just like a little wash that you're making, and then it helps the textures just to sort of pop out. Missed that bit down there with my finger, but it's fine, I'll fix it. There we go, one of Albie's hairs in there as well. Oh, there we go, get rid of his hair. So that's gone on nicely, a little bit of that. You could also, if you want to go on with a little colour. So I'm just using it, so water it down, mix it up so that it's a little bit more of a wash, and then you just go over. And it picks up all of the texture on your little pieces there. Right, we'll leave that one to dry. Ignore that bit down the bottom. There, lovely. Pick that up. That's it. And then we're going to just give it another dry. I'm just going to let that sit to the back for a little bit. With the other one, I'm going to let them dry, and then I'm going to show you a couple of other little bits and pieces while we are waiting for something to dry. Pull out some of my other little projects. Just give it a little bit of a wipe down. And a little bit of a clean on the surface. There we go. Right, I'm going to do another little bit of something. So, also this last week I've been getting some of these inks from Dawn to have a little go at. So I might have a little play with those on a piece of card just to show you what they're like. So I've got the two sets that look fairly similar because they're all, you know, you can't tell from the top what the colours are. So what I've done on the card, there was some packaging, and I've stuck the packaging, stuck the colour onto the base. These are from the soft set, so there's a yellowy colour, an orangey colour, and a grey. They're in the soft set. This other set I've got is a pink, so there's a purple, like a deep pink, and then a brighter pink. So I just thought I'll show you how these go on onto the card as well, just to see what you think of those. I've actually enjoyed using them, so I've ordered the greens and the blues, so I should be able to do something a bit more with the colours as they come. Oh, hello Elaine. We've just been doing some messy things. We're heading towards making a topper for a box or a journal. So I've set those to the side, give them a little bit of drying time, put rice paper over the top of all the little chippy shapes, and it doesn't look like much of anything at the minute, but we're going to trust the process. And then this one with the chippy shapes, I've just used some pearlescent paint and covered it up with paint, so that's a bit easier than all the mess that you get with the what do you call them? Is anybody there? Rice papers. So I'm just going to try these little colours out for you and just show you how nice they go on. These are some new Studio Light ones. using my brush, really nice. Water reactive, so we can do some techniques with it again if we want to. I'll just go for that one because it's a bit darker. This is a bit of pink. Whoa, look at this. Well, this is just making a background, which I'll use later. Put a little bit over there. I'm going to blend that one in so you can see. I go into that yellow, they blend lovely, and I'm getting a really nice orange coming in. Can you see? That's gorgeous. So maybe we'll have some of the orange. That's the orange there as well. So you don't have a clue what they are when you're doing this, but they work really nicely. Oh, there it is. So that's like it's a soft colour, and again you can blend into each of the shades. And look at that, that's lovely. So I think I've just got a bit of multi-purpose or card. I'm not sure what I've picked up. It's just in my messy stash over there. Well, that's it. I'm going to put a little bit more yellow in around the edges. Going straight to the pad, but you can go to the glass mat as well. So we'll just get a little bit more yellow in those. There we go, and we'll go back to the pink. Remember, put a bit more colour onto there and blend them in. It looks nice. And this is just a nice way to make a background. I like to just sit and do this because it makes me happy. Just playing with colour. And filling all my little gaps with my pink. Oh, how nice. Lovely. So I'm quite pleased with that. There you go. So that's those new Studio Light water reactive inks. I shall get more and play more with them, but we'll have a little look and see what we can do with this because it just looks lovely. Brilliant. And they blend lovely. You see all the different orangey colours coming in there from blending them together. Now what you can do is your water reactive stuff with it. So if I drop some water on there, we should have where's my 2 seconds, just have I got any behind me? I have. I'm just going to get my kitchen roll. Oh, little Albie's sat down here and my flowers have fallen on his head, and he's just sat there with a flower on his head. Give me a minute while I just stand up. Oh, get some kitchen roll, and we'll just pop a bit of water on so you can see what you think of these as well. There we go. I'm just going to pop this out. I'm going to tap a bit of water and you'll be able to see straight away it's actually coming off straight away. Look at that, lovely. Yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely. So as soon as I'm putting the water on, it's reacting, and then if I'm happy with it, look at that, I love it. Don't know if you can see. Let me go up a bit. There. Can you see all the little spots from me putting the water on and the blending? Lovely, lovely. I'm going to just dab it with my mat, with my cloth. It's not a cloth, it's a thingy-me. Ooh, lovely. And there you go. That's a really nice little background that we've done fairly quickly, just with those lovely inks. So that's, I mean, it's the same way as I was using those pens last week, so it's up to you which ones you feel like using. I think what I'm going to do is get some of the grey from this, and I'm going to go around the edge, but I'm going to do that in a minute. Let's trim it down to a card size. Let's imagine, I know that's a 6x6 already, but let's go for a bit smaller. I'll go down to that size, I think. 4 by, that's 5.5. Let's go for that. We'll use that. Let's grab a bit of card. I done 4 by 5.5 there. So let's go for a bit of card that we can chop down. I'll do it long ways on. So we did it 4 wide. Let's go to 5, and I can put a layer on it. This is just my little extra ones that I had in my mind. I haven't done this before the live today, but 5.5, 2 5.5s, 11. Oh, go to that, go 11 and a bit. My brain's not working with my chopping. Let's have a go. I'm going to go down that way on, and hopefully I'm not going to get any mess from my mucky hands on here. This is just quick card making off the hoof, guys. I haven't prepared this before. Done a little mountainy fold one. We'll put that onto there. We can trim it down a bit more in a minute. Let's find a background for it to layer onto. What have we? What have we? Trusty. Let me go over there again, because I'm just making this up as I go along, guys. I'm making it up. Oh, we need a pink. Grab the pinks and the reds. Oh, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of blooming this kind of pink, but I'm just going to go for it because that's the one that's easiest there. So what did I say this was? This is fast crafting on the hoof. 4.5. So I'm going to go down 4.5. I'll go to 4.25. 4.25. And then this card I've made is 5.75. So I'll go down to 5.5. There we go. Everything just gets chucked when I'm on my lives, doesn't it? That's going to go there. And then that was 5.5. So this one can be 5.25. Let's go for that way. 5.25, and it should be the right way with the width, fingers crossed. There we go. Let's put these on here. Ooh, right, now with this, before I put it on, it's a very bright shiny card. I'm going to go for that grey, and I'm just going to go around the edge a bit, and it'll just help it pop. I just think I love this grey. I used it on that one of my other cards, can't remember, but I just like the way that it edges it. It's a really soft, it's in the soft section, so yes, it is a lovely soft grey, but it's really nice, and it just will give that a little bit of a pop. You could have gone round in any colour you like. There's a nice deep purple as well if you'd wanted, but I just know I really like this little grey colour. So while we're waiting for all those other bits to dry, this is where all the other cards come in and show you what I've been working on this week. There we go. So I'm going to stick that down. How's everybody doing? Elaine, have you been to your gym session this morning? Are you feeling fit? And I've got Isla coming home tomorrow, so my afternoon is going to be sorting out, making sure her bed's made. Anything I've shoved in her bedroom to get it out of the way has to be moved out as well. And then we're just going to pop that onto the card. Blank. See how quick this is to just make a card without any thought. We're just doing it. I love making backgrounds. See, you could even just do that and then leave it till you know what you want to put on top of it. What I'm going to do though, I'm going to stick that up onto foam pads because I think I'd like it to be a bit higher. Oh, legs are like jelly now. Oh, bless you. But you're doing brilliantly. Very proud of you. More than I can do at the minute. You're going to be super, super fit. Oh my. Come here. Stop it. Oh, let's stick some bits of this down. I'm sticking to my fingers today. Maybe it's all this, you know, all the what have I got on me? Paint. Yeah, I'm having a day of it where I can't think of my words. Do you have days like that? I have days like that every day. Just sticking plenty of these down so it gives it a bit of support. We'll just go for another one there and there. I think these are like cost no money the way I'm stucking them on there. There we go. Just stick it up a little bit. Oh, I'll be sitting down here and I don't know if you can hear him snoring away. He wouldn't get out of bed this morning. I had to shout him down to go outside for a wee before I came live. And I came live at 11:30, so he's just slept so long today. This is the disadvantage of putting hundreds of pads on though, is that I'm taking ages to do that. Right, whichever way around you feel like putting it. And again, I'm struggling a bit because I can't get over it and under it. So if it's wonky, please excuse me. It's not centered right because I've got my tablet above my head getting in the way. Lovely. And there's a little quick card blank. So what could I put on there? Now you might have seen on the Facebook that I was fiddling with these little flowers as well this week. Paper flowers. Just to see what these were like. These are the ones that are falling on Albie's head. Bless him. And some little bits of leaves. So we could put these on if we wanted to. Let's have a little look. We might need a bit more colour because I've gone really wild on the colour. And I think they're blending in a bit too much, aren't they? Let's have a look at some of Dawn's flowers. That's the trouble with, sorry, I'm going to use my diddly-dee. Let's grab some more flowers. Where have I put them? I did have some ready to play with this morning. Oh, that was for a different card over there. Let's go with these ones. I think I might just have to go around the edges with this one to make them pop a bit. So again, I don't want them to just merge in. What I might do is grab my vellum again, trusty vellum, because the trusty vellum would look nice. Just shove down there a bit. Let's give it a bit more texture, not quite so straight. That'll just give me something to put the flowers onto so they stand out a little bit more because they are merging into that background. So let's go with that. There we go. I'm just going to chop that off. Yeah, we're quite a quiet little bunch in the chat today. Maybe people have just thought, what is she doing? It's fine. I chat away to myself, so it's okay. Now, I haven't done that very well, have I? Look, it's a bit wonky up there. Diddly-dee. It's much easier if you do not just do it off the hoof. That's better. Do that. So I'm going to do that with it, and then we'll make a little flower arrangement down in this corner with the ones I've got. Ooh, some yellow. That's a different one. I might go for these ones because they're all similar. And I am going to just go around those edges. So I'll show you what I've used for this in a minute. They've gone a little bit flat and squat while I've been sitting. Look, lovely, lovely. And a lot of my little flowers seem to have fallen on the floor. There's one there. That's a nice one as well. Might go for a bit of the pink over the edge as well. That might look nice on that one. Just brighten it up a little bit. Once I've made them, they're just little paper flowers, these ones, so they're quite cute. And they're really good if you can't sort of manage die cutting. or you don't have a die cut machine, or you don't cut out very well. I'll show you where they come from. I don't know that Dawn's got any of these left because I think she just had a couple of pads. So this was the paper pad. It was a die cut paper pad of roses and petals. So it comes with sheets of flowers and sheets of leaves. So you can see there that I've just done all the colours on the paper before I've then popped them out with my poppy outy tools, my embossing tool. And the same on the green. I went over with some green that I wanted and then popped them out. This one's nice because it's got some frames in the back which I haven't used yet, but they were very super easy to pop out. And then once they were coloured on the page, I didn't have to then try and fiddle around with all the tiny bits colouring them in either. I could just go for it. So I'm going to just use some of Dawn's glue on the corners, because if there's a bit showing, I'll just stick a gem on. Pop a little bit on there, a little bit on there, a little bit on there. I might put a little bit extra on the bottom because I'm probably going to have flowers on it. There we go. Put that over the top. There. It merges in quite nicely, that glue, actually, because of the pattern in the background. So we'll just pop that there, and then we'll just need to decide what we're going to do with our flowers. So I like that one. That's a really nice one. I might go for these little ones. They're more like a little rose or a daisy, but I've got 3 different sizes of those ready cut out. So I think I'll go for that. I'm going to just grey up the edges on this one a little bit. I know it looks a bit messy, but I'll just make that one stand out a little bit more there. Put that one there, and then we can pop the flowers in wherever we want them. Pop the leaves in, sorry, is what I meant to say. Right, and what I'm going to do is get my gel one, my jelly glue, and pop some of this out. I don't know if Dawn's got this. It probably hasn't got it, but she could probably get it. Just find it easier when I'm using these and I'm wanting to tuck things behind. You could use the, what was the one we used the last time? My glue gel that I had. Took that one under there. Where's the little one? Shall we pop you up here? I need a bit of pink on you now. I've made you too dark. Sorry, little flower. Let's go with a bit more pink. Sorry, I think I keep coming off the page. There. I'll just go a little bit pinker on that one. And hopefully some of the stuff behind me has dried, so we can come back in and do that bit. And pop that little one under there. And I should be able to tuck some bits in then. I just like to use a cocktail stick if I'm using this kind of glue to apply it. I'll pop that one in there. Put some of these little leaves in. Tuck it under. Oh, put it on the wrong way. Silly girl. On the bottom, not the top. There. Now you can see them moving because the gel will allow you to move things around for a bit longer. So you just need to be a bit careful. But that's also the benefit of it, so that if you're not happy with your arrangement, you can kind of just twiddle things a bit. Oh, so there you go. That's a very quick one. Doing it again, putting it the wrong way around. Took it underneath. That one. There we go. And I can carry on popping more little leaves on if I feel like I need any more in there. And then actually we could just leave it and pop a sentiment on, couldn't we? There you go. So there's a nice, quick, easy, well, I think that was quite quick. Lovely background, a little bit of vellum over the top, and then some lovely paper flowers that I had pre-prepared earlier in the week. Lift it up for you, and it just needs a sentiment now. So that's lovely. I don't know if I've got any of the sentiments from last week. There's a couple there. They might not be the right colours. These are some I made last week. We could stick Amazing on there. I think it needs something a bit more. Oh, that's Fabulous. We could put Fabulous on it. There, what do you think? How's that? So that's another little card just made quickly for you. Thank you, Margaret. So just as another aside for those blending inks, I did a little quick layering stencil as well last night with the blending inks, with the water reactive dye inks, just to show how well they blended, and you could use them for layering stencils as well. So I thought that was quite a cute little one. So that's the water reactive inks. So I'll do a little bit more playing with those, maybe on another live. But that's quite nice, really, that little card I've just come up with off the top of my head. But I did have those nice flowers ready, and I thought, oh, I must try and use those flowers somehow. So that was a Studio Light ready die cut flower. So we'll pop that over there, and we've used the inks and the flowers. So next, let's go back and see how we're getting on with our projects here. I might just give it another little blast with the heat. Move that a little bit more, so leave that one to the side, and we'll come back to this one. And it's a bit boring really because it's just all green, so I think we need a bit more painting and a bit more play. How's about a bit of silver on the frame? Oh, have I not opened my silver? Oh, I've used all my colours, but I haven't opened my silver. Shock horror. I'll just pop that up there. That's it. I'm going to get a little paintbrush out. What I'll do. And we're back to the messy things. So stick it on there, and then we can paint over. So I can give my frame a little bit of extra colour, and that's just going straight on with Dawn's paints. And if you haven't tried pearlescent paints before, I think they're just lovely. So she's got some lovely £2.99 ones at the minute. I think they're worth probably getting. The mix of colours on them that she's got are such that you could actually quite happily, I'm going to do that bit as well, quite happily mix them a bit to get some other colours out of them. I did think, because there was some primary colours in amongst the ones that Dawn had. And again, this is just what you can do, this however you want really. Just decorate it the way you want it. But I think it's quite a nice idea just layering up, and another way to use those chippies that we get from Dawn, the little chips. I'll show you them in a minute. I don't think I've actually showed you them yet, have I? There we go. And I can hear the birds singing, and it's just very mindful art and creation this morning. I like that. Nice. Let's go for a bit of purple. And I might go on the little flower here with a bit of purple, just give it a little bit more shine. Not being too precious about it. I'll try and pop those little holes if I can. It layers up quite well because it's already dried. I quite like that purple, so I'm going to do a bit of purple down the edges as well. Don't know if you can see it very well over the top. We need some darker colour on there. That's it, lovely. I love the sheen though that you get off them. And every time I'm putting a bit on, you can see the little shapes pop out really nicely. I get a little bit carried away with my painting and I go back and forward and I do more and more just till I get it where I want it to be. I think I'll do that, and then we've got a little bit of oh, what has happened to my rag? There we go. Right, I'm going to give this a little dry and then we're going to do the next bit. Right, pop that to the side. So I've got two on the go. Hopefully we can get in and just do a little bit with these. Now I'm going to have a little poke again into my lace that's on there, and that bit is not dried as much, so it hasn't come out. You can see the patterns of the flower and the leaves and the heart where it's dried. Hopefully I've got that where you can see those. This does need a bit more drying time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that centre bit to have a bit more drying time, and I'll probably do that off air, but I'm going to go around the edge to show you what we're doing on with this one. So I'm going to choose my pale blue pearlescent one again. You could use white quite easily. I'm just going to get a bit of that, bit of water, and a brush. Where's my wide brush? It disappeared. The wide brush has disappeared. Let's use this one. Oh, that's the wrong end. Crazy. Right, I'm making it into a wash. Lots of water, lots of that, and then I'm going to go over it again. So it's a little bit wet there. That's fine. Get my cloth in. And I'm just going to go over. And you'll start to see around the edge the shape hopefully coming up a little bit more. I'm not going to go down the middle because I know that that's not dry enough, and I would really give this a bit longer to dry, to be fair, but I do want to try and show you a bit of what we're doing this morning, what I was doing last night, show you how to do it. And that's it. So I've got a bit of paint on there and that's just helped it to pop. Let's dry that off. I think that's dry enough. Just get my little messy bit picked up again so I don't get in too much of a mess. Drop it all onto Albie. Yeah, I mean, I would still be wanting this to dry more, but just for the purposes of the live, we're now going to go on to the next part. Hopefully you can see around the edges those shapes are popping up nicely. So now what we're going to do is get some wax. I think I might want a darker wax than the one I've actually thought I would use, just because it'll show better on the screen. So I've got some different colour waxes there that I was going to use, but I'm going to go for the gold because I think that'll show up better for you. I'm just going to pop a bit on there. Got quite a lot on there, and I'm just going to then go over the shape. So we'll go over the shape of that flower, and you can see it popping out. And it'll just go into the creases of the this is quite a heavy wax, this one. So but it goes into all those creases really nicely. This is also quite a smelly one. There we go. But you can see the shape starting to pop out, hopefully. And that's sort of where the magic happens now, is with the wax. So I'm going to just pop on a bit of the blue that I've got. It's like a tealy green. I'll show you that as well, just for a different colour. I can fiddle around with this when I get, you know, when I come to it, but that's nice having different colours. That's the colour I really was wanting to do for you. Go over with the wax. You can be as heavy as or as light as you want. I've actually gone quite heavy just because I'm aware of the fact that it doesn't pick up very well on the screen. So I'm going to go quite heavy round this. And actually maybe we'll mix up the two colours and it'll look nice. Oh, that's beautiful. I like it mixed actually. Let's go and mix those up then. It just takes the edge off that gold, doesn't it? Lovely. So you need a bit of wax. I don't know what Dawn's got in the way of waxes. You can have any colour you like. But it's really, I'm hoping you can see, I'll lift it up in a minute. I really think it is helping those little chippies that we've hidden underneath the rice paper are really popping out now. Whoa, I love it with the gold on top of the green. That's so nice. And I love the texture in the paper as well, how it goes into all the little creases of the rice paper. Go a little bit on here. And I don't really think that the what do you call it, the lace is ready yet, but I'll just put a little bit on, see if it starts to pick it up. We'll go with the gold in this bit. Just might pick it up if we're lucky. Ah, there it goes. And I'm just going to do gold in this bit. I don't want it to be too heavy, so I'm tapping it off on my mat and I'm just using my finger pad, like my finger, because I don't want it to be too heavy, because sometimes the wax can go on heavy and then it just spoils it. But, oh, there you go everybody, it has actually picked up that lace. Lovely. Beautiful. I'm very pleased with that now. Right, I've been such a messy thing this morning though, haven't I? Honestly. I know some of you might not like all this mess, but it's only mess. You can just clean it up. Not a bother. That'll come off later on with a bit of a wet wipe. So I'm just going to give my fingers a little clean. And I'm going to give it a little buff. I've got paint and stuff all over the place. But it's good fun. Let's give this a little bit of a buff now with my cloth. My little general rag that joins in with everything. And you can really see those chips coming through. And actually, when it looked like nothing before we started with the wax and the paint, and then it's just actually suddenly just really popped and come into its own, even with it not being quite dry. I think we've done quite well. See that bit there? And then you can just put whatever colours you want on. Now, I don't know if you can see it as well as I can. So the other thing I did do was I went back in my trusty grey that I was using earlier. I actually used again, and I just popped a bit over the wax. I'm hoping that maybe makes it pop a little bit more as well for you. So you've still got that lovely wax on there, but it's just putting some shadow in as well. Lovely. So I really enjoyed doing this little project. So it's courtesy of Leonie Pujol, but if you want to just sand those edges off, you can, if you haven't tucked them in. Once the rice paper's dry, it just comes off and sands nicely. Get your little bits out, or you can stick a little bit of glue on anywhere that you need it. And that's my little grungy topper. So you might not be able to see it quite so well on the screen. Let me see if I can catch up with myself. Thank you, Margaret. I think the thing with it is that you've just got to trust it, because when you're starting and you add in the little bit of rice paper on top of the chips, you think you can't really see the chips very well, and you think, oh, I don't know if I like that. It's not going very well. And actually the lace, I didn't think that was going to come out at all. The chips are obviously 3D, so they're a bit more likely to come out. But the lace in the middle, it's a little bit harder. I probably need something else on there, I think, as well, just to make it pop a bit more. A bit more black. I just want you to be able to see it. Can you see that lace in there? So really, trust the process. So you can get, that's got a lot more darker colours on there. Just trust the process. Everything does work once you have finished. So actually just go for it. Trust the process. That's the main thing. It looks a mess, but then it comes out really nice. You can add whatever wax colours you want to it. I'm quite liking this sort of grungy greeny gold that I've got going on. That'll be a nice topper for a journal book. So we may need to make a little journal book to put that on. So put those to the side for 1 minute, because we still have the one that is the alternative project with just acrylic paints. I know it's a bit wonky. That's just because I'm sat at my table here and I wasn't looking very well, and I've stuck it on wonky. So we'll ignore that. This is just for you to see. Let's go in with some more waxes and see what we think. I don't think the green's going to show as well on here because it's like a green. And I'm just going back over the top of the colours I've already done with the paint. So maybe we want to go on the gold or the silver on that again. I'll go with the gold because I think it's letting you see it better on the screen than it is when I'm using the paler colours. I like these paler colours, but it's just... Right, I'm going to go around the edge first, see what I think of that. Oh, I don't think you go wrong with gold and green, do you? Gold and green. Yeah, let's go around those edges. Give it a little bit of green on the gold. Sorry, a bit gold on the green. And this works just as well onto the less messy option of just painting. I'll pop some of this on now. Getting it a bit less. This, I've had this for years. I don't know, it's like full of like a little waxy puddle in the middle of it. And then when you're going over those little chippy bits, and that's just a die cut, that little bit, but look, it's quite effective. As long as it's got a little 3D element to it, it lifts it up really nicely. And it just makes everything pop, putting the wax over. And those shapes are lovely. Put a bit down there. And that's that. Now what we did leave on this one was we left a sentiment that we didn't finish. No, we didn't, it was a heart. So I'm going to, there you go. So that's a bit of gold, silver and green. Hopefully it looks nice as well coming on the screen. There we are. Now I'll tidy up my desk after. I'll give it a little rub again to buff it all up. And then we were, for this one, I had a heart and I was going to stick that on, wasn't I? But I didn't paint it. So I shall very quickly paint it. I'll go for the dark green. And then we'll do, I can stick that on later. After the live, I can stick it on. We can have a look at all the bits. Now I'm looking for my little dibber. My little dibber has disappeared. I have another little dibber. I'm just going to use that. So this is just a shape of a heart that fell off a little hanging thing that I had. And I thought, well, I'm not going to chuck them out because I might use them for my crafting. And this is Dawn's lovely pearlescent paint. So we'll just shove a little bit of that on just so you can see the idea. There we go. Marvellous. And then that would go on top of there. I'll stick it on, might as well stick it on. I'm going to use my glue gel for that one. My thick globby glue, and that will take a little bit of time to dry, and I know I probably should have let it dry, but we just want to see a finished product, don't we? So I'm doing it because I've got that. You could use a 3D sticky thing. There you go. But I want it to be a little bit 3D there. That's it. Voila. There we go. Guys, hope that's actually come out all right, really, hasn't it? Let me do a little spray down again. Got lots of tidying up to do today when I finish. Oops, I've just knocked the oops, I've just sprayed the whole desk and I've just knocked the camera, so sorry about that, everybody. Tippy up, just give that a really quick go with my water and my rag. Trusty rag goes everywhere with me. I'll clean my hands later. There we go. So we've made that and we've made that. I probably need a bit of something to contrast it on that surface. Let's put one on the black like that. Lovely, lovely. And put this one on the black. And hopefully you can see them a bit better. And push them up in the frame. Need a really good tidy up. Look at the state of this table. I'm just going to try and get them a bit higher up. There we go. That's it. So you can hopefully see those a bit better. And then that was the box I did last night, the box lid. So I've put some lace on and a couple of little gems, and I'm going to put rice paper on my box and decorate that up as well. So when that's all finished, I can show you that. And these boxes are a pack of 3 available from Dawn. I think she still had a couple to go. So there you go. So a bit of a messy play this morning. One very messy with all the stickiness of the rice paper. One with just acrylic paint, so a little bit less messy. But they're both really nice as little toppers. Also managed to make, just as we were pottering around waiting for things to dry, we've made a lovely background with those Studio Light water reactive dye inks, and I've also used the some paper cutout flowers to decorate it with, and a bit of vellum. Did we have anything else that we've made? I had other projects to show you, but I didn't. Oh, we've got the teacups. Oh, hang on a second. I like to make sure you see all the things we've made. So we made a teacup as well. There's our Katie Sue teacup. But I just knocked my little heart because it's not dry yet, but there we go. Our Katie Sue teacup. And we had the other one. So let's do a little move. That one can come out because we've seen that. Push that one up to the top. I just got to stick my sentiment on there. And a couple of beads, put little gems on. We can take this one away. Number 2, Messy Project. And then we've got our little Katie Sue pretty easel teacup card as well that we've made. And I showed you those little flowers and stuff that I'd done in the week. That was a nice bit of blending. So I think that was all the things that I actually was going to show you today. I had a couple of other projects that were like backups in case it all went very wrong. But fortunately it seems to have worked. Quite pleased with what we've managed to achieve in the time. And things have sort of managed to dry as we've gone along. So I hope you've enjoyed that. It's a little bit, something a bit different for you. But I'm quite pleased with my little simple, beautiful pink and yellow flowery card as well. And that Katie Sue is so easy. So I think that's probably it for today. I've been on long enough, I think. And I'm going to go and get all organised for Isla coming home. Now, just for future, if you want me to show you how to make the little junk book, which I was briefly showing you with all my little offcuts of paper, pop that in the comments if you'd like to see that, how to make that nice and easy. That's something that we could then stick our lovely topper on as a journal topper. I can show you how to make that. And then the other thing is maybe doing a little bit more with tags and MDF. I thought we'd have a go with some MDF. I've got a little tag here that I did recently. I've put some sort of crackly stuff in the background. I've got paste on. I've got different bits of things in the background here. And I thought, well, you could always use your flowers made out of paper. Or we'll get some of Dawn's. I've only got a little one there. We'll get some of Dawn's really nice flower bags when they arrive. I'll use the flower bags to decorate the corner. So there are a couple of things I'm thinking about at the minute. If you're interested in looking at some MDF decoration to make a nice project, or making a junkie journal, scrap journal for you to play with. So there you go. And then that's my lid I made last night for my box. So I'm going to decorate the inside of here with some of that lovely woodland green rice paper as well. And then I've got a nice little box to finish decorating. Right, that's everything for today, guys and gals. Everyone watching on catch up as well, thank you for joining me. You know, I'm happy for you to watch on catch up and see, and any questions, pop them in the comments. Any of the products, they are the chippies and the paints. I've done some lace in there, the Katie Sue teacups, the Studio Light inks and the vellum. Just send a message to Dawn. Be quite specific about what they are if you can, so she knows, because she hasn't watched the live. And there's Sarah in the chat. I was just about to give you a shout out. So Sarah is going to be live on Dawn Bibby Creations page at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So please do join her. And we'll see what we haven't seen her for a little while, so that'll be lovely to catch up and lovely to see what she's going to inspire us with this afternoon. And hopefully you've enjoyed this morning's live. So I'm away a little bit next week, but I should be able to pop up on Saturday evening. So I'll pop a little post in, so not this Saturday as in tomorrow, but a week tomorrow. So that'll be my next live in the evening. And thank you for joining me, everybody. Bye for now. Bye. Take care, everybody.